Hey everyone, it's your girl Asha Dawson, founder and lead planner of Event Productions by Jen. And I'm so glad that you are back today to talk about the final checklist for the last 30 days. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about how I, as a planner, think about the last 30 days, and then I will give you a sense for what should be on your checklist as well. So, the way that I see the last 30 days and the grand picture of wedding planning is that we've hit the runway. So the way that that's structured on my package list on my website is that this really falls into the partial planning, or you might hear of the month of planning, right? Which is some of the most popular wedding planning packages out here, because a lot of couples are able to do the early work of wedding planning, finding a vendor, signing the contracts, what have you. But what they really need help with are the details as you lead up to the big day. So I like to think of it as like getting on an airplane. Whenever you start planning, maybe it's a few months, maybe it's a year or two, that whole time up to those final 30 days, that is your taxiing. Okay, so you're taxiing in the airplane, you're going on the runway, right? We're going in a circle. We might be waiting in line a few times. You may be stuck in air traffic control territory, what have you, but you are just taxiing. But you're ready to go, right? You know this thing's about to happen. The last 30 days is that part where you're really hitting the runway, that 10 to 15 seconds where it goes really, really fast, and then all of a sudden the wheels are off the ground, okay? That is what the last 30 days will probably feel like. Here are a few things that you should have on your checklist for those final 30 days. Number one, you should have your RSVPs in 30 days out. Whenever you set your RSVP deadline with your guests, it should be at least 30 days in advance. And if you know that people in your network, which most people are tardy on these things, move up the deadline to be more like 45 days in advance so that latecomers can be late. Because you don't really want to pressure people into coming to your wedding. That can feel a little bit awkward. So that is the first thing that you want to consider. The second thing that you want to consider on this checklist is following up with your vendors. Each one of your vendors is part of this day. Each one of your vendors is only concerned about their lane, okay? The DJ is not coming in there worried about what decor is doing. They're not coming in there worried about what the venue's doing. All they need is the floor plan so that they can come in point A, point B, set up their shop, and move on. That's great. That's their job. However, there needs to be somebody who's helping those vendors understand the bigger picture. So what you need to be able to do is pick up the phone or email every single vendor and ask them, what do they need? Are there any special accommodations? Maybe there is a special type of plug the DJ needs. Maybe there's a certain amount of square footage that your photo booth vendor needs to have available. You need to ask them those questions. What is it that you need out of this venue that I can make sure that you have? What time do you need to show up? You need to get those details in the last 30 days leading up to your event, because you don't want to wait until the last minute. Also, you want to give vendors plenty of time, because many vendors are focused on the wedding that is either the week before them, the week ahead of them, or the following week. And so oftentimes you're going to end up waiting anyways to hear back from them, because your wedding is going to be a month out. So give them ample time to consider it. Give them plenty of time to get back to you. So you're reaching out to your vendors second. That needs to be on your checklist. Number three, you need to make a timeline. Once you've spoken with those vendors and gotten a sense for their needs, your hairstylist, for example, your makeup artist, if you have 7 girls getting makeup done, you need to ask your makeup artist, how long will it take? What time do you need to arrive in order to have me ready by this time? So you need to be making that timeline after you have spoken to your vendors. So once you have made that timeline, either with the help of your venue, which they can be wonderful resources with, or of course a planning team, they can do all of this for you. Then lastly, you need to worry about yourself, okay? You need to sit here and make another checklist of the things that you and your fiance personally need to do to be ready emotionally for that day. One thing that couples do in the last 30 days is start writing their vows. Okay, if you haven't done it, you need to work on that because you need to allow yourself time to have multiple drafts of your vows. Number 2, you need to make sure you have your wedding rings. You'd be surprised how many people really do wait to the last month to get their wedding bands, right? Get the wedding bands. Make sure you have the essentials that go back to the root of why we're all here. So that's another thing, but make your personal checklist, okay? Perhaps you have alterations that need to be done to your dress. Oftentimes, wedding dresses have multiple alterations appointments, but there is almost always one in the last 30 days. So you want to make sure that's done and the tailoring of the suit is done as well. Make that personal checklist, okay? So to review, here are the things that you need to have on that 30-day checklist. You need to be communicating with your vendors, okay? You need to be making a timeline. You need to be making your personal checklist. And you need to make sure your RSVPs are in, okay? That is the best advice I can give you right now to make that takeoff go as smooth as possible, okay? We don't want to get up there and there's turbulence, right? We can plan ahead to make sure that you're not crashing in the final days leading up to your wedding. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time.